Right now, the father of the Abundant Life.
This is breaking news.
Right now, the father of the Abundant Life school shooter arrested. We'll show you why he's facing criminal charges.
And a monumental moment, what we know about the first American Pope in Catholic history.
Good afternoon and welcome to Live at 4. We are starting off with a breaking news update to the Abundant Life Christian school shooting investigation.
Another difficult day for the ALCS community. Jeffrey Rupnow, the father of the shooter, is in custody. Madison police just provided us an update at a press conference. Our Ellie La Liberté joins us live with more on what we've learned this afternoon. Ellie?
Yeah, Susan, as you said, the father of the 15-year-old Natalie Rupnow, who preferred to go by Samantha, the student who opened fire at Abundant Life Christian School back in September, killing a teacher, a student, and injuring 6 others, is in custody. Jeffrey Rupnow was arrested before 4 this morning, nearly 5 months since the shooting. He's facing 2 felony counts of intentionally giving a minor a dangerous weapon and 1 count of contributing to child delinquency. Now, we received a criminal complaint that shows that the 2 firearms recovered during the shooting were bought legally by Rupnow. Now, police did search his home the day of the shooting. Around that time, detectives interviewed both Jeffrey and his ex-wife, who's the shooter's mother. Both gave their consent to have their home searched and cooperated with the investigation. But during the investigation, the police chief told us today that there were many warning signs of the shooter's plans, including a manifesto.
The items recovered were disturbing, they were alarming, and they would have led any average person to the conclusion of violence, to the concern of violence, rather.
Now, part of this investigation also includes troubling use of social media. We saw that last week when a Florida man was arrested for planning a mass shooting at a law enforcement agency and was found to have an online connection to the Madison shooter. Now, Jeffrey Rupnow is expected to have an initial appearance in court tomorrow, and there is still 1 student in critical condition. I'll send it back to you guys, but for now, reporting live in Madison, Ellie La Liberté, News 3 Now.
Ellie, thank you. We're also learning more about what led up to the shooting and today's felony charges from the criminal complaint.
News 3 Now's Maddie Heimsch joins us here in the studio to break down interviews police conducted with Jeffrey and evidence collected from their home. Maddie?
That's right. The criminal complaint details how the shooter had access to the guns used on December 16th. Ellie mentioned there that the 2 guns recovered at the school were bought legally by Jeffrey Rupnow. He tells investigators he had purchased several guns over the past couple of years, purchasing his daughter a pistol that, while legally belonging to him, they referred to as her gun. According to the father, that gun, along with 11 others in the home, should have been locked in a safe, but when police searched the home, only 8 were in that safe. There was also a gun under his bed that he had bought as an upcoming Christmas gift. And as for accessing that safe, Rupnow told police he was the only one that used the code to get in and out, but noted that it was likely that his daughter had observed him type in that code. On Sunday, the day before the shooting, she had asked her father to take her gun out of the safe. She went to clean the gun in her bedroom, and Jeffrey later told investigators he couldn't remember if that gun was returned to the safe before he closed it back up. Now, we're also learning more from the complaint about the evidence found in the shooter's bedroom, including, like Ellie said, a manifesto and hand-drawn maps of the school. I'll break those down in our next half hour.
Thank you, Maddie. We've been covering the ALCS shooting, local leaders' response, and the impact on the community since this all happened. You can find all of our previous coverage and receive any updates that we get directly to your phone with the free Channel 3000 mobile app.
The other big story today, for the first time in the history of the Roman Catholic Church, there is an American Pope. The monumental chapter in U.S. and Catholic history began when white smoke billowed from the Sistine Chapel's chimney. It happened at about 11 o'clock local time this morning. In just 2 days, electors chose 69-year-old Cardinal Robert Prevost of Chicago to be the new pope. He's taken the name Pope Leo XIV. Pope Leo has a degree from Villanova University. He became a priest in 1982. The name Leo has been used by 13 other popes, the most recent serving from 1878 to 1903.
The new pope is seen as a progressive on many social issues, but overall he is considered a centrist. Like Pope Francis, Prevost has spent time embracing marginalized groups. He has dual citizenship in the U.S. and Peru, where he served for years.
Let's get a quick check on the weather now. Alex is out on the weather patio, and it's another beautiful afternoon. We're going to be talking about frost again overnight, though, right?
That's absolutely correct, Susan. You got a beautiful day like today. You got the clear skies out here. Winds are easing up, and that spells the perfect recipe for a frost advisory. Let's take a look at Max 1 here, showing frost advisory for much of our area till 8 o'clock on Friday morning. We've been talking on the First Warn weather team for a couple days that, Thursday night going into Friday morning, we have that likelihood of frost. Far southwest Wisconsin, Crawford, Grant, Lafayette counties, while you're not under the frost advisory, I still think you're going to experience a little bit of patchy frost. We got low to mid to upper 30s. That's that critical junction temperature-wise where frost is likely across much of southern Wisconsin, especially in those open areas, those low-lying areas. Tonight's the night. Right now is the time to get those tender plants covered up or pull them in this evening as we approach those cooler temperatures. Right now, though, 65 in Madison, 68 to the west, 64 to the southeast in Janesville. Here in Dane County, we got 64s and 65s, and then the 67s to the west and the west part of Dane County. A beautiful evening, though, no doubt, with clear skies, sunny conditions, temperatures very pleasant for this time of year. It's as we get into the early morning hours of Friday that we need to watch out for those cold temperatures. But coming up in Maine weather, I'm going to let you know if that warm up, if those warm near 80-degree temperatures are still in the forecast.
All right, Alex, thank you. In politics today, a new lawsuit is challenging Wisconsin's congressional district maps.
Political reporter Will Keneally is here to show us what we could expect. Will?
Well, you might be thinking, oh, we've seen a case like this before. That was for the state legislative map. So these are state lawmakers, the lawmakers that set policy on abortion, education funding, things like that. These are for your congressional lawmakers, those people in D.C. that set things like tariff policy. So here's where Wisconsin voters voted last November. About 51.5% voted for Republican congressional candidates, 48.5% voted for Democratic congressional candidates. When that translates out to the seats, though, this is what the seats look like. Out of the 8 congressional districts that Wisconsin has, 6 of them are Republican held, only 2 of them are Democratic held. Democrats say that this is an unfair gerrymander and they want to change that. Now, this is a court case that could have national implications, as constitutional expert Howard Schwaber describes.
This has national implications, and this is why. Wisconsin is a swing state. The Congress is extremely closely divided, so a change of even a couple of seats from Republicans to Democrats could have significant national consequences.
Now, this was filed in state court, which has different mechanisms than federal courts do. We've already seen a challenge in federal court before. Now, after this April's election, though, Wisconsin has a liberal state court compared to a conservative federal court, which could have a lot to play out there. Now, if these new maps are drawn, though, we could see some changes and perhaps maybe 2 new Democrats representing Wisconsin in Congress.
Will, thank you. Wisconsin Attorney General Josh Kaul is joining a multi-state lawsuit challenging the Trump administration's block on funding for electric vehicle infrastructure. The suit alleges President Trump overstepped his power when he issued an executive order directing the Federal Highway Administration to withhold money for the National Electric Vehicle Infrastructure Formula Program. Congress already set aside $5 billion for the program when passing the bipartisan infrastructure law.
Governor Tony Evers says Wisconsin was in line to receive $60 million from the program to boost EV infrastructure projects statewide. In a statement on the lawsuit, the governor said in part, quote, "The Trump administration and Secretary Duffy are single-handedly trying to block Wisconsin from receiving the investments we were promised. It's bad for the people of Wisconsin, it's bad for our infrastructure, it's bad for our economy, and it's illegal."
Next on Live at 4, we have some more coverage of the historic new pope.
What the president had to say about the choice when Live at 4 continues.
We have more breaking news today. We've just received official confirmation from the Dane County Medical Examiner. The man who died in the Dane County Jail earlier this week was indeed Jeffrey Endress. Endress was charged with homicide and 2 attempts of homicide for the deadly crash in Cottage Grove last week. The medical examiner did not expand on details beyond confirmation of Endress's identity. The office says additional testing is underway and police are still investigating the death.
Taking a live look now at St. Peter's Square in Vatican City. All is quiet. It's 11:15 p.m. in Rome. But earlier today, the new Pope, Leo XIV, addressed the more than 1 billion Catholics around the world. In 2014, Pope Francis made Leo the apostolic administrator of the Diocese of Chiclayo. I don't know how to say that.
Chiclayo.
Oh, thank you. Chiclayo in Peru. Francis made him a cardinal in 2023. This marks the first time in history the Pope is American, prompting a response from President Trump.
To have the Pope from the United States of America, that's a great honor. That's a great honor.
That's all right. Later on Live at 4, our Arman Rahman will have local reaction. Stick with Live at 4. We'll hear a lot more reaction from Madison's Catholics.
And cases of the measles in the U.S. have now surpassed 1,000. Information from the CDC and state health departments confirm the grim milestone. Many of the cases are related to an outbreak in West Texas, but states have reported the disease. More states have. There are currently no cases in Wisconsin, but doctors say the state is vulnerable to the disease. That's because Wisconsin has the second lowest measles vaccination rate in the U.S.
And child flu deaths in the U.S. are at their highest level in 15 years. The CDC reported 216 children have died during this flu season, the most since the 2009 swine flu pandemic. Doctors say the biggest factor is that fewer children are getting flu shots, with vaccination levels dropping from 64% 5 years ago to 49% this season.
A landmark deal between Ukraine and the U.S. is in motion. After months of tense negotiations, Ukraine's parliament has ratified the country's minerals agreement with the U.S. It grants America access to Ukraine's vast mineral resources. It continues U.S. military aid to Kyiv amid concerns President Trump might scale back support in ongoing peace negotiations with Russia. The two sides have offered scarce details about the structure of the deal, but it's expected to provide some assurance about American support.
The United States' first new trade deal is with the United Kingdom. President Trump made the revelation this morning. The administration says the deal opens up more market access for American companies. The 10% baseline tariff remains in place, but the deal scaled back the levies imposed on British cars, steel, and aluminum. And in return, the U.S. says the British will create export opportunities for American agriculture. Experts say trade agreements typically take a year or more to finalize.
And to Wall Street now, the Dow is up 254 points. The NASDAQ is up 190 points. The S&P 500 is up 33 points.
Cameron Hamilton is no longer the head of FEMA. The Department of Homeland Security says Hamilton has been fired. The news comes one day after he broke with the Trump administration when he told lawmakers he does not support dismantling the agency that he led. An official with DHS, David Richardson, will take over for now. The DHS has not commented on why the administration fired Hamilton.
Oh, and here's why we love Wisconsin. We were wearing shorts and short sleeves, and now we're talking about frost.
And now we're talking about having to do some work here to get those plants in or to cover them up with sheets. Been there, done that before. Growing up on a farm west of Madison, always helped Mom out with that. So Mom, here's your heads up, because you're in Iowa County, much of southern Wisconsin under a frost advisory till 8 o'clock on Friday morning. And the First Warn Weather Team, we've been mentioning for days that this frost potential looks likely. And here we are with the advisory. Even far southwest Wisconsin, you're not out of the woods. I would also encourage you, cover those tender plants, throw those sheets out there, or bring in those tender plants tonight. When we look at our frost and freeze tracker here tonight, it's frost likely, and after that, it's gone. So our temperatures are going to really warm up once we get beyond tonight. So then we'll trade in, Brady, as you were saying. We can put the shorts back on after we get through a frosty night tonight. 33 for low temperature, Baraboo, Dells, up towards Marquette, Green Lake counties. Then we got the 34s and the 35s a little bit further to the south from Iowa over to Dane, over to Dodge and Jefferson counties. And then upper 30s to the south towards the Wisconsin-Illinois border. Even upper 30s under these scenarios, we can see frost, and that's why, because this is why. It's clear That allows radiation to go out to space. We have calm winds overnight, and all those open and low-lying areas are susceptible to frost. Now, where will you see the frost? On any night, all that heat is going out to space, but where you'll likely see the frost is in areas that are open where that heat can go all the way out to space. But don't be surprised underneath trees or bushes that are starting to have leaves that are forming. Then that heat tries to go out to space, but it's sent back down to the ground, and it keeps the area warmer underneath trees and bushes, so you might not see the frost. Makes for some neat pictures, but nonetheless, cover things up tonight. Then we start to warm up on Friday already, back up to near 70. We'll be approaching 80s. Put the 8 and the 0 together, makes 80. By the time we get to Mother's Day, sunny and mild conditions. It's looking gorgeous for Mom's Day. And then the temperatures, they soar into the upper 70s to the lower 80s all the way through the rest of the next 10 days. And as we put on our current temperatures right now that are still on the mild side, again, I want to remind you, even though it's mild now, those temperatures are going to be tumbling throughout the evening. As we plan through the rest of the night, they're down into the lower 40s by the late evening, and then the low to mid 30s by the time we get overnight. As we move out through the rest of the 10-day, the next chance of precipitation Tuesday going on into the Wednesday night and Thursday time frame. In the next half hour, we'll look at the water chances a little bit more.
Thank you, Alex. Coming up on Live at 4, artificial intelligence is touching every aspect of our lives.
Our Kyrion Lee shows us how you can help your kids navigate the technology when we come back. Artificial intelligence is dramatically changing how we work, learn, and communicate. And for a lot of kids, it's already a normal part of life. But for parents, keeping up can feel overwhelming.
It's a tall order, right? And this Time for Kids report, sponsored by SSM Health News 3 Now's Kyrion Lee, shows us how parents and families can navigate this great big world of AI.
From smart devices to schoolwork helpers, AI is everywhere. And while it's transforming childhood, it's also leaving parents with a tough question. How do we keep our kids safe?
AI, I think, is this generation's big breakthrough. I think every maybe 15, 20, 30 years there's a new, really game-changing thing.
SSM Health child and adolescent psychiatrist Dr. Jeremy Chapman says AI, such as ChatGPT and video games,
yes, good job,
are now part of daily life for many kids, even if it's hard for adults to keep up.
There's understandable fear, technophobia, especially on the part of the grown-ups and adults who are used to how things were. And so they're wondering about how this is going to change everything.
And while AI creates powerful educational and creative uses, it can be dangerous, especially when it blurs the line between real and virtual.
There was a story not too long ago about a 14-year-old boy named Sewell Setzer who was using not ChatGPT, but something called Character.ai. He's a 14-year-old boy with autism, maybe struggling socially, and would withdraw to his bedroom and spend hours at a time having conversations, deeper and deeper conversations with what to him felt like a real person. And one thing led to the next, and he took his own life.
It's a worst-case scenario, but a reminder that children's emotions are real, even if their digital relationships aren't.
We need to teach kids that artificial intelligence, although it's very, very realistic, is still artificial.
Kids may form emotional bonds with chatbots or characters.
But when the phone gets discovered and taken away, the child still is mourning a relationship that they had. So we have to allow space for that. Say, look, I know that you felt connected to this person, and I'm not going to dismiss that.
Dr. Chapman says AI is not all doom and gloom. He says if used wisely, AI can spark joy and connection.
I will, sometimes when I'm driving my children around town, we'll open up ChatGPT and say, hey, ChatGPT, tell us a story about a silly dad who always makes mistakes.
He says AI tools like ChatGPT can also be useful for even the youngest learners.
I will also actually use it for my 6-year-old She started having this whole conversation with her about space and planets and colors, and it was engaging her, by the way, as a 6-year-old, so it can adjust itself.
Still, parents often don't have the time to understand every app or setting, so Dr. Chapman suggests leaning on teachers, therapists, and most importantly, your child. So rather than shielding kids from AI, Dr. Chapman says meet them where they are and help navigate it with empathy, structure, and support.
It's not going anywhere. So we need to shift our mindset from like, we have to take it away from our kids, prevent our kids from getting to it, into, all right, let's assume they have it, and how are we going to make it into the most positive experience we can?
That was Kyrion Lee reporting. A great way to start having the discussion is by downloading our Time for Kids digital device guide.
Yeah, there are 6 sections that encourage families to talk about the role devices in the digital world play in our daily lives and set clear expectations.
You can have your kids sign the agreement once they review the importance of each section, and you can find all of this by searching Time for Kids on our website, channel3000.com. Coming up on Live at 4, more about what is in the criminal complaint against the ALCS shooter's father.
Plus, a new pope. Arman Rahman shows us how local Catholics feel about Leo XIV.
From News 3 Now, this is breaking news.
Good afternoon. We continue our breaking news coverage of the Abundant Life Christian School shooting investigation.
Our Ellie La Liberté is live at the City County building in downtown Madison with an update. Ellie?
Yeah, Susan, Jeffrey Rupp, now the father of the shooter in the Abundant Life Christian School shooting, is arrested. He was arrested around 4 this morning, nearly 5 months since the shooting. His 15-year-old daughter, Natalie Rupp, now, who went by Samantha, opened fire at ACLS in September, killing a teacher, a student, and injuring 6 others. The shooter also died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Her father now facing 2 felony counts of intentionally giving a dangerous weapon to a minor, resulting in death, and 1 count of contributing to child delinquency. Now, we received a criminal complaint that shows that the 2 firearms recovered at the school were legally bought by Rupp. Now, during the investigation, the police chief says today that they found many warning signs of the shooter's plans. That includes a manifesto, and it's what the mayor says in part can make this preventable.
What happened at Abundant Life Christian School should have been impossible. Instead, we live in a world where preventing a similar tragedy is what feels impossible, and that is not okay. We need to make it impossible for kids to have access to deadly weapons.
Part of this investigation also includes troubling social media use. We saw that last week when a Florida man was arrested for planning a mass shooting at a law enforcement agency. He was found to have online connection to the ALCS shooter. Now, we are expecting Jeffrey Rupp, now her father, to make an initial appearance in court tomorrow, and there is still 1 student in critical condition. I'll send it back to you guys. Reporting live downtown Madison, Ellie La Liberté, News 3 Now.
Ellie, thank you. And we're also learning more about what led up to the shooting and today's felony charges from the criminal complaint.
News 3 Now's Maddie Heimsch joins us here in the studio to break down interviews police conducted with Rupp now and evidence collected from their home.
Yeah, when police did a search of their home, they collected several pieces of evidence from the shooter's bedroom. Among them, a manifesto, hand-drawn floor plans timing out the shooting, and a cardboard model police noted as consistent with ALCS. Reading through that manifesto, police found writings from the shooter idolizing past school shooters, her hatred for teachers and other students at school, and notes about her parents. The shooter also had maps of Abundant Life Christian School, along with drawings of some of the classrooms in the school and potential timelines. Police also recovered a camcorder with videos of the girl handling guns inside the home and talking about previous school shootings. Police also investigated texts and other communications between Jeffrey Rupp now and his daughter. Coming up on News 3 Now at 5. I'll have more on their texts the morning of December 16th.
We will see you at 5, Maddie. Thank you. We've been covering the ALCS shooting, local leaders' response, and the impact on the community since this happened. You can find all of our previous coverage and receive any updates that we get directly to your phone with the free Channel 3000 mobile app.
For the first time in the history of the Roman Catholic Church, there is an American Pope.
Cardinal Robert Prevost will succeed Pope Francis, taking the name Leo. He's seen as a progressive on many social issues. Overall, he is considered a centrist. Prevost has dual citizenship in the U.S. and in Peru, where he served for years.
Local Catholic leadership is reacting to the election of Pope Leo.
Arman Rahman talked with the leader of the Madison diocese, who says not to put too much stock in politics with this pope. Arman?
That's right, Brady and Susan. A complete surprise. That's how Bishop Donald Hying of Madison says he felt when he heard that an American was chosen as the next pontiff, and not just any American from a state just next door, Illinois. Bishop Hying says most everyone was surprised an American was chosen, and while he's following the more progressive Francis, who disagreed with American conservative leaders on things like allowing migrants in with open arms rather than deporting them, Bishop Hying denies any claims that electing the more centrist American Leo was any type of political move.
I think we're tempted, especially in this age, to think in terms of political lenses. And really, when the cardinals go into the Sistine Chapel and make this vow before God, they're really saying, they're standing before the Lord and making this sacred promise that they'll vote for the person who is best suited for the position.
And according to Bishop Hying, Pope Leo XIV speaks 5 languages and has advanced degrees in church law. Now, I did ask Bishop Hying if he feels that it's a bit of a test to get over the fact that the new pope is a Chicago sports fan, while of course Bishop Hying was born and grew up here in Wisconsin, bleeding for the Packers and the Brewers. I'll have more on what he thinks about that. I guess you could call it a trial from God, as well as how other local Catholics feel about a Midwestern pope tonight at 6. For now, reporting live in Madison, Arman Rahman, News 3 Now.
That'll be the real discussion.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Arman.
Well, we are looking at some 80s next week, but we have a few hurdles to get through this week. Here is Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington on our Madison patio, and he has some plants.
I do. We are just about ready to put some of our annuals in our pots out here, and I took note that they're sitting over there on a table, so I'm going to be the good Samaritan after I do our first weather here, and I'm going to take those annuals and I'm going to stick them inside our garage because we're up against, there we go, a frost advisory. Let's take a look at those few things we got to get out of the forecast here. Frost advisory for much of the area until 8 o'clock Friday morning. We've been saying this is going to be likely for a few days, even in Crawford, Grant, and Lafayette counties. I'll keep mentioning this all night. You still have the opportunity of having some patchy frost. Here's why. Low temperatures in the low to mid 30s. While this is not freezing, meaning it's not 32 or below, this is cold enough to get some patchy frost that would make some of those plants, like I was just holding just moments ago, susceptible to that cold. But it's just one night of cold. It's one hurdle that we have to get over, even though it's mild in the 60s to the upper 60s across the area right now. 67 to the west in Cross Plains, 63 in Deerfield. Again, we're going to cut these temperatures in half tonight, as even though it's nice, we're going to be down into the low to mid 30s by the time we get a little bit later into the evening. But you said 80s are back in the forecast. I'll let you know how warm those temperatures will be for Mom's Day and when we may go above 80. And with that, how much water can we expect next week? We're talking about plants. We could use some more raindrops, more on that in a little while.
All right, thank you, Alex. Boy, maybe one good thing about that frost is it's going to help people with seasonal allergies. They are so bad this year. It's very difficult for a lot of people to enjoy spending time outside.
I am sneezing like the Dickens, but that doesn't have to be the case. Dr. Zorba Pastor shows us which over-the-counter drugs work the best. Who can't relate to this?
Yes.
You're sniffling, you're sneezing, you're just gross. You're staring at that pharmacy shelf.
So what works best to take care of seasonal allergies? Dr. Zorba Pastor is here this afternoon. Hi, Zorba.
Good to
Some
be here.
recommendations.
Good to be here.
Boy, the allergies are bad.
Oh,
this
they
year.
do. They do. As soon as spring comes, we're all happy because we look at it, the trees are blossoming, and all of a sudden you notice all the pollen that's in the air.
Yeah.
And your body notices the pollen even before you see it.
If you leave your car out overnight in the morning, there's a...
You do that.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
You can leave you a
Mother
message.
Nature.
Right.
Mother Nature on the car.
Does anything work over the counter?
Yes, it does work. It does work. So first of all, the old-fashioned antihistamines would make you sleep. I mean, that's what they did. Benadryl, which is a really good, powerful antihistamine, will make you sleep. And if you're really having trouble at night and you want to go to sleep, it's okay to take that. 25 milligrams, 50 milligrams at most will help you. During the daytime, the non-sedating antihistamines, Zyrtec, Claritin, Allegra, the generic work just as well. If one pill doesn't work, take 2 pills.
Okay, and those are all available over the counter? You don't need a prescription?
No, you don't. Now, what's better than that really are the nasal sprays, steroid nasal spray, such as Flonase. It's under the name brand Flonase, or fluticasone. It's a nasal spray you put in your nose. It takes a day or 2 to work, and it works really, really well. And you can take them both together. You can take the pills and the Flonase. And if you're in the middle of a terrible season, do both of those. They really do matter.
And Flonase is also over the counter?
Available over the counter.
Oh,
then
that's
what
great.
about your eyes? Your eyes get itchy?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
We got eye drops. Pataday, P-A-T-A-D-A-Y, really good eye drop. Talk to the pharmacist. There are a number of antihistamine decongestant eye drops for a whole variety. If your eyes are a little red or a little bit more itchy, the pharmacists are good and they'll tell you. And pharmacists love to give you really good information.
Can you say that again? What was that one called?
Pataday, P-A-T-A-D-A-Y.
Okay.
Used to be by prescription. That's kind of my go-to drops. So the drops, the spray, the pills, but none of them will make you sleepy. That's really the most important thing.
Is there anything at home that you can use, like for your eyes, like a cold compress or anything, just to kind of alleviate?
Compresses are great. And also sometimes a warm compress, you can go to the web and you can buy compresses that you can warm up in the microwave, and you can put an eye drop in, like liquid tears, in your eyes. Cover it with a warm compress or a cold compress for about 3 or 4 minutes. It'll soak into your eyes, and that will help you too.
Can you get seasonal allergies later in life? Like if you've never had allergies before and then all of a sudden you're really struggling at this time? And
That happened to me.
Me too.
I can still remember I went to a friend's house. I'm in college. I'm like 21 and I start sneezing and I go, what this? I had no idea what it was. And the answer is yes. And one of the things that tends to go away when you get older is allergies. They tend to get better. It's one of the good things about aging is that your allergies don't bother you as much. And that's because basically your immune system is not as good, so the allergies don't bother you.
And are there available prescriptions?
Yes. Well, also, the shots work for people who are really not very good, and we don't use them nearly as much anymore. And then there are other prescription drugs that work too. But over-the-counter drugs work probably 90% of the time.
Oh, good.
Drops in the eyes, spray in the nose, take a pill. All those things are really going to make it.
Did you write that all down?
I did. I'm ready now.
And go outside.
Go outside. All right. We can do this, everyone.
Thank you, Zorba. Great to see you. Coming up on Live at 4, Alex will tell us when, and maybe this will be good, the frost will kill it, right? We're supposed to get a frost overnight. Maybe for allergies, that'll be a good thing.
And later, Josh Sprider gives us a preview of the Madison night market in the 608. Oh, do you think Alex got all his plants in?
Did you, Alex?
I did. We are good. We're good here from the station standpoint. Our annuals, they're in good shape. They're inside the garage, and it's a heated garage, so even better for them. You're going to want to pull in tender plants tonight. We got a frost advisory really for everybody. I'll keep saying this all night. Far southwest Wisconsin, patchy frost is still a possibility, maybe not just as widespread as the rest of southern Wisconsin. We have lows in the low to mid 30s out there. Not a hard freeze. That's good news, but cold enough for that patchy frost, especially in open areas and low-lying areas. It's going to melt away really quickly, though, as we go into Friday, because we're going to warm right up. It's just one night. Brady was saying a hurdle before the warms up. Just one hurdle, because we've got forecasting temperatures back up to near 80 degrees as we head towards Mom's Day. Friday again, even approaching 70 degrees here in Madison, Janesville, a little bit warmer off towards the north, towards the west, low to mid 70s, and that's a hint. That's what's coming in the direction. Winds out of the west are going to be bringing warmer temperatures by the time we get to Saturday, 75, near 80 by Mom's Day, and then flirting with 80, if not 82, by the time we get out to the later part of next week. Just in right now, drought monitor here. We still have an area of moderate drought conditions. Platteville over to Darlington, over to Monroe, and abnormally dry conditions for areas hugging the Wisconsin-Illinois border. Said I'd talk about precipitation, and here we go. The first few days here of May, some of the wettest on record, but now we're going into this prolonged prolonged dry stretch. What's the forecast here as we go further out into the future? Going out into May, we have a little bit higher of a chance of seeing water according to the Climate Prediction Center, so that's good news. And as we look at our 10-day forecast, rain chances enter Tuesday, but I think our better rain chances are going to be on Thursday with the cold front. More on Madison Night Market coming up in just a little bit on News 3 at 4. It'll continue in just a couple moments.
In the 608, the Madison Night Market makes its return today for the first event of the season.
Perfect night for it, too. Josh Spreiter is on State Street with a preview.
The moment has finally arrived. We're here for the first Madison Night Market of 2025. Joining us today is Matt Trammell with the Madison Central Business Improvement District. Matt, good to see you.
Good to see you as well.
You guys are super excited. A lot of work goes into these events, and this is the first one of the year. There's a lot to be excited about.
Yeah, we took a little bit of a risk with the weather. We moved this up 2 weeks early, but we did that to coincide with UW graduation. So tonight is going to be celebration of University of Wisconsin and their students, and of course the graduates. So excited to celebrate that.
And what better place to be than right here along State Street, the main corridor here in downtown Madison.
Yeah, couldn't be better. And last year we actually expanded the night market up here onto Carroll and Mifflin Street. So right at the top of State Street, we'll have all vendors all the way down State Street, over 100 of them. We'll have food trucks over here. And then actually new this year, we're going to have a family activity center. That's going to be on the Capitol lawn. So there'll be physical fitness activities where kids can go against their parents. There's going to be the Madison Reading Project, a great nonprofit locally based here, really celebrating education and books. And of course, 50 of the small businesses are coming out, over 100 vendors, so it's going to be a really great night.
I love how you guys really focus on community and you really try to get everyone involved, from the parents all the way to the adults,
Absolutely.
or to the kids.
Yeah, and we also bring out a lot of local live music and of course artists and all of the craft vendors. It really is a showcase of everything that Madison has to offer right down here in the beating heart of downtown, so it's an exciting way to get everybody out into the community and really have a fun time.
How much of an impact does this have on these businesses that take part?
Oh, it has a great impact. Last year we had roughly between 15 to 20,000 people over a period of 4 hours come out to the night market each time, and we do it 5 times a year. So not only is there a lot of sales activity and it really supports their business, but it's just another great way to come downtown, see things that maybe you haven't seen before, and really get to know the community around you.
All right, hit us with those details. What do people need to know for the first night of the year?
One thing is that we're selling new merchandise, right?
Love it.
We have Madison Night Market shirts and hats. We'll be selling those down in Peace Park. What's really great about those is any of the proceeds go right back into the community programming that we do. Otherwise, we have over 100 vendors, about 15 food trucks. We have live music in Peace Park and buskers throughout the event. So all of the other details, you're going to find exactly who the vendors are, exactly who the businesses are. Go to MadisonNightMarket.com.
All right, Matt, looking forward to it. Thank you. Appreciate it. And if you'd like to learn more about the Madison Night Market getting underway shortly here this evening, just go to this story up on channel3000.com. On State Street, I'm Josh Spreiter, News 3 Now.
Thank you, Josh, and to Matt as well. And boy, it's a beautiful night.
Gorgeous, yeah,
maybe
gorgeous.
sweater weather.
Yeah, light jacket, and then you're going to want to put that jacket over your plants tonight too, whether that's a sheet or just bringing them in like I just did out at our patio flowers. And we've got that frost advisor from 1 a.m. to 8 a.m. Friday morning. So bring in those tender plants tonight, lows in the low to mid 30s, but this is it for cold stuff, because after this, all we've got is warm temperatures and a little rain chances as we go out into next week.
All right, Alex, thank you. We'll be right back. Here's what's coming up tomorrow on Live at 4. Will Loper will show us what's new to streaming platforms this weekend. And straight ahead tonight at 5, delivering joy, one Wisconsin mail carrier's story. We could all use a little joy. Looking forward to that. That's straight ahead at 5. Thanks for watching Live at 4 today, everybody. Hope to see you right back here tomorrow. News 3 Now at 5 starts right now.